Hello everyone, cpat here, bringing you cpat's certified banger of the week. And here's where we would put some music and a graphic if we had one, but we don't. Anyways, we have today another Jungy Japes Returns match. It's already super underway. We have MiX taking on Calavontis, and wow, the match has already started. These two players are pretty quick. And looks like we had a change cards on turn 1 from Bang, discarding that Ultra to draw 2. And MiX in return also preps. So the matchup we have here is MiX's Zolt, his character that he often, actually not, pretty much every single time, he leads with his character, against Calavontis' Bang. And just a reminder, this is actually a matchup that we've casted before. So we have a strike here, Bang style Shuriken against the focus. So reminder, Bang style Shuriken, one of Bang's best cards, does cost a force to use. However, you can play a continuous boost from your hand. So it's a very versatile card because you can do things like add power and gain advantage, things like that. Anyways, these players are playing super quickly. I can't even do my flavor text in. As Bang preps, MiX boosting speed in response. Of course, MiX does have the options of Whip Crack, Blaze of Fervor at range 4, as well as Dive like any other character. But yeah, as I was saying, I believe this was the first match of this is a rematch of the first match I've ever casted in Exceed. It was winners finals of the last tournament, Jungy's Japes. So this should be a really interesting one. Both of these are probably not probably, definitely the strongest player, as Whip Crack gets parried, but instead we see the Blaze of Fervor as the option that Zolt has in hand, along with a bunch of other normals. We have a bunch of other normals. We have 037. Parry Focus immediately comes out. Looks like Calavontis just taking a second to note these cards. We have 3-7, Cross Up, Blaze of Fervor, Fatal Eye, and Fanatical Purification. Parry Focus is successful, just a standard play. I mean, again, you see it basically every game. MiX going for the safe parry focus option. Basically, you see it every game. Bang did have the focus there. I've never actually seen Bang's focus art. What is he holding there? Are those horseshoes? As Bang actually able to match the +2 speed now. So it's something like a Bang style Shuriken is able to, at range 4, is able to beat that Blaze of Fervor. So MiX will have to think twice about just striking with that card right away to get it transformed. Looks like he is striking regardless. And that second Bang style Shuriken is in hand. That feels really bad. Calavontis represented the threat. MiX made the bet that you wouldn't have it, and a pretty decent chance that you wouldn't have it in hand. There were 16 cards in deck, only 5 in hand, so like a 25% chance that he would have it. And interesting. Calavontis using the action compression on Bang style Shuriken to actually parry the eye from hand. So interesting play there. Only 1 damage, but got the eye out, won the combat, got the Blaze of Fervor out, and now it just looks like a Bang style prepare. Just super consistent prepare action. Looks like a change cards 2 from MiX. This makes sense because Bang on his prepare actually sees the top 3 cards of his deck. So the chance that he drew focus was 20%. MiX saying that's too much. That's too high for me. I'm just gonna get rid of these normals, especially because they're not doing a whole lot right now. The spike especially will be more useful when Zolt exceeds, so maybe on reshuffle. But that spike not doing a whole lot in the hand now, and neither is the grasp, so MiX just decides to get rid of those. Bang with not a life lead, but definitely a resource lead, having spent both Bang style Shurikens for combat wins, has the Void Tempest kick in as well. So he's half of the way to the Super Exceed, which of course is when you get one copy of all 4 specials in your discard. It's not needed for Bang to exceed in this manner, but it is definitely a huge bonus when he does, because then he can play this bad boy of a card, Hyper Shadow Step Strike. I usually actually see Calavontis' Bang not do that. He just opts for, he just says the focus, he just says the exceed action is good enough. As we see a beat a nail with your hammer, now advance 2, then strike, +1 speed. Mixed Wild Swings dive, that's not going to win anything. And Bang out of there. Back up to range 5. Dealing just a little bit more damage as well. Very good boost here. This makes the cross above curve. Looks like MiX striking from range 5 here. That's an interesting one. And yeah, just the block against the Pulverizing Blast Jutsu, which actually does hit from Bang. Reminder that none of Zolt's cards, other than one of the Ultras, I think, Wild Hunt, hits at range 5. But MiX just opting to build some gauge there. Calavontis using that as an opportunity to put more Pulverizing Blast Jutsu into the gauge. Pretty free. And MiX, of course, spending the force to negate all damage, as is the text on block. Calavontis with a huge resource lead here, Zolt having nothing set up yet, although an EX coming out. EX cross-up is looking pretty good here. And it is the EX cross-up. And that will not do so well against the Spike, which only has 4 guard. EX cross-up having 5 attacks, so the important card, Battle Fugue, is now transformed for Zolt. This is the most important card because it makes the Zolt action work. It looks like we're gonna have Calavontis Exceed here. Oh my! Do we have to censor that? Are we gonna have to say this video is PG-13? As unfortunately, Zolt just opts for the Wild Swing, Assault beating the speed tie there. Are we gonna have to censor this? What is going on here? This is not legal. This is an illegal card that we have. This is contraband. But we Bang Exceeding, so we have the overdrive of you return all cards of the discarded card from discard pile to your hand. So basically just really, really good recursion here. Looks like Larger Than Life was boosted for advantage, immediately attacked by MiX. This boost is really good. So yeah, it makes sense that it was teched. Cross being returned to hand. I don't remember if there's a second cross. There is a second cross. So EX cross now an option for Bang. 7 speed, super safe. Reminder that EX attacks from Bang do have +1 power. So that'd be like a 5 damage, 7 speed cross. That's a pretty decent option in hand. I'm not sure if that's something you want to keep in hand. Just because it can, in theory, be red. It looks like Bang opting for an EX of some sort. There's a mix-up here. It's going to be the Gunblaze against the Unstoppable Palm Thrust. The Unstoppable Palm Thrust, of course, will do 6 damage. 4 from the card, 1 from the EX, and 1 from Bang's ability. Does not stun out the Gunblaze. Gunblaze will trade, however, MiX opts for card draw. A little bit low on cards here. It looks like the Bang Rushdown is working out pretty well. That Void Tempest Quick will now be returned from the overdrive, and that second one was expended last turn as a boost. And looks like Calavontis is opting for an EX. This is cross or the returned EX. And yeah, it's cross. Sweep will miss, and this Bang Rushdown is looking pretty good. MiX only has 11 life, 1 card transformed. And it's just, yeah, drawing those 2 voice Bank Style Shurikens super early has allowed Calavontis to just explode here. He's playing with speed in more ways than one, right? Obviously, he's playing fast, but also, like, look at this. Like, Zolt unable to breathe. This is how you have to beat Zolt, as the 4th card returns as Bank Style Shuriken. So Bank Style Shuriken, EX Bank Style Shuriken now in hand for Bang, if I'm not mistaken. Looks like he's just gonna be striking with 1 card, and that's gonna be the Bank Style Shuriken, beats the Wild Swing Assault, and this is clinical. This looks practiced even. Like this is robotic. Look at this, and I believe one of each special is now in the discard here for Calavontis. Actually, no, he's missing. No, he's got all of them in there. Doesn't even need it. Opts for the Bank Style Shuriken. MiX Wild Swing's Gunblaze, so this will trade unless Calavontis has a way to use a 4 special to make it not, or use a boost to make it not trade. Gunblaze is the only card that. Gunblaze is one of the few cards that deals with Bank Style Shuriken quite well in a lot of cases. Looks like Calavontis will just opt for the advantage. And look at this. This is just so clinical. I think he took the damage, actually. I believe he was at 23. And Bang striking a hand, this has got to be the... I mean, in theory, this is the Hyper Shadow Step strike. And this match, like, this looks straight practiced. Like, this is just clinical. And, yeah, that is... Wow. That is a quick game 1 going to Calavontis. That is the most robotic... That was like an algorithm that was so perfectly practiced. That was beautiful. That really, really well played from Calavontis. The best way to make Zolt lose is by not letting him breathe, not letting him get those cards transformed. Zolt didn't even get to exceed that game. The 2 bank style shurikens definitely helped early. But yeah, 1-0 for Calavontis in clinical fashion. Like that game was so fast. Calavontis had like the perfect answer all the time. Looks like Calavontis prefers to start on the left here. I actually also prefer to start on the left. We're going to see Zolt versus Umina here for game 2. MiX obviously going to stick with that Zolt. We've got Season 2 Extravaganza. Umina, to me, Umina is Calavontis' classic character. That's the character I see him... That's the character like I associate with Calavontis, personally. Okay, these guys have played Exceed before. I mean, I can't... My brain can't even keep up with their play. Zolt turn 1 prepares. There's a bunch of cards mulligan there, like 4 from each side. Umina boosting Spike in response. I can't even talk about the matchup because these guys... If I talk about the matchup, I'm going to see like a... I'm gonna miss like a strike or something. Calavontis hasn't reset his health yet. I'm sure he will at some point. MiX boosting speed. Probably pairing Whip Crack again. Yep, there's that plan. Whip Crack has a better transformation than Blaze of Fervor. Whip Crack is also probably better than Blaze of Fervor early at range 4 because Blaze of Fervor gets its value from getting the advantage as well. So this seems like a better parry, and looks like Calavontis is specifically targeting that each time MiX boosts the speed. And looks like MiX boosting power on top of his speed now. Okay, Umina moving back to range 5. Again, range 5 is a little bit of a blind spot without the ultras for Zolt. And Zolt spends 2 force in the form of Wild Hunt to move to range 3. That +2 power, +2 speed looking pretty threatening now, all things considered. Calavontis puts Sweep into the Dreamlands. Reminder, the Dreamlands is you can strike with the card, and when you strike with a copy of that card or that card itself, you have stun immunity. So opting for the early game Umina plan of putting Sweep in there and then just sweeping the opponent. Which makes MiX think a little interesting. The combat trades aren't so great against stun immune Sweep, right? So that's probably why MiX is thinking now. Takes a little bit of time. Check that discard. I believe it's a Grasp and... Ooh, I don't remember the card he discarded to move to range 5. Looks like a reading coming out from Zolt. Reading Cross. Cross successful against the Blaze of Fervor. Blaze of Fervor is faster. Reminder, this is a speed 7 Blaze of Fervor. MiX crosses over, gaining advantage, and gets the Mad Dog transformed. So, not the best transformation, but is a transformation, which means that this Zolt's transform, and when he gets real good, is now closer. He's now closer to that. Calavontis in response boosting Dreamtelling. Dreamtelling just an insanely powerful boost. Look at this. It's a +5. Reads +5 power here for 1 force. Very, very strong. Also has Zolt in the corner. Prep is... I just lost my train of thought. Excuse me. These players are playing so quickly. I can't even speak. Like they're playing faster than I could think. Especially that first game from Calavontis. That just looked practiced, man. It just looked like bang.exe. Just played so cleanly. Now range 1's interesting for Umina because she has an option like Hollow Space. She has a range 1 innate dodge, which is super cool. So range 1 is totally fine for Umina, even though she's considered like a character that can exceed kind of far away, or not exceed, but excel kind of far away with cards like Dark Thoughts, and a Fireball in Hollow Space, and Call of the Dreamlands being a 2/5. Looks like we have MiX boosting Somersault, move 2, then draw a card. That's an interesting one. Eye is such a good card, but Eye's not useful yet, right? Eye's really good on backside for the most part, and kind of an emergency button on front side, so MiX says, okay, this card is worth getting out of the corner. I mean, it's the equivalent to spending 3 force and also gets a card on top of it. So it's a prepare action and spending 3 force to get out of the corner. That seems super worth it, right? So that's why you see MiX boosting this Fatal Eye, which doesn't happen a ton. Looks like Umina actually opts to cross over and now takes center stage. She crosses over with an Assault and a copy of Call of the Dreamlands. That's an interesting one. Moving to range 1, but also opting to cross over. So now something like Cross isn't free, I guess. I guess that's the reasoning. I'm not really 100% sure what Umina gains from taking center here. If I'm being 100% honest. But Calavontis, there's a reason why he did it, right? Just because I cannot properly articulate why he would take center there, does not mean that there wasn't a reason. There's definitely a reason. Like I said before, these guys are two of the best players, if not the two best players, right, in the game. So looks like we have EX Dark Thoughts beating the Grasp, and that will do 8 damage with the Dream Telling. We even forgot that Dream Telling was there. EX that's why he wanted to move to range 1. So I don't know why he crossed over though. Obviously with an 8 speed defensive EX, he like moving to range 1 totally makes sense. But yeah, interesting. And Calavontis is actually using that hit effect to replace Sweep with Assault in his Dreamlands. Okay, so that's there's a plan there. Now opting to have Assault in the Dreamlands instead of Sweep. Interesting. Luckily for MiX, he only lost a Grasp in that exchange, so like not the worst. He did take 8 damage, but not terribly down on HP, all things considered. Obviously, getting hit by Dream Telling is not optimal, but not the worst result here. Looks like we have Cross Up perfectly read by Calavontis here. So Cross Up at range 1 will fly away, which gets caught by the Dark Thoughts, however. Dark Thoughts with a sweep effect. Pulled the spike out of the hand. So yeah, Calavontis probably deciding not to take that spike. He wants that Assault in the Dreamlands. And actually we see Umina Exceed. I've never seen Umina Exceed before, so I have no idea what this does. Let's see. Let's take a look here. When you exceed, flip your Dreamlands to exceed side. Okay, look at. So we've got extra. So we got like Bang style deck milling. And what does the Dreamlands do here? Okay, so we have, when you set an attack, you can seal a card in this area to add all before, hit, and after triggers. Interesting. Okay, this looks like a game finisher type Exceed. Second Dark Thoughts into the block. That is super good. MiX not having an option like a Blaze of Fur, which would beat that, or like a dive even. So MiX just opting for a block. Okay, Sweep now goes into the Dreamlands. Okay, and these guys are just they're playing super quickly. Look at this. Focus was red. That cross went back into MiX's hand, which was immediately red. MiX did have EX cross, so he will mitigate some damage. Call of the Dreamlands will do, let's see. So 5-Eye Hunt on MiX's side, and we have out of mind Kadath 05 for Umina here. And look, these guys are playing so quickly. I don't even remember what's in MiX's hand. I believe it was 5 and I. So this is probably the Assault. Yep, it is Assault. Comes into range 1, draws a card. MiX succeeded at some point. I completely missed this. These guys are just playing the range 1 dodge on the Wild Swing. Wow, nicely done. Wow. Zolt now looking really starved for cards here. These guys are just playing. You guys are gonna have to replay this video in 0.5 speed to see what these guys are doing. As MiX reminding Calavontis to do the thing. Do it twice now, says MiX. Sure, we'll allow it. We'll let it happen. So it looks like Sweep was returned, Dive now in the Dreamlands for Calavontis. And Calavontis and MiX are playing so quickly, they are going faster than I can actually comprehend what Umina's Dreamlands does on backside. So wow, at least we got a little bit of a breather here. I totally missed Zolt Exceeding. I guess it happened at some point. The cross-up did get transformed as well, alongside the Blaze of Fervor, which was transformed way earlier. That cross-up got transformed like 5 turns ago against the Dreamland, so Zolt Exceed only costs 1. Looks like we're gonna have a dive effect on a Grasp, so that this is just, I mean, Zolt HP is gone. I mean, he's set up, but Zolt HP is just gone. The dive effect, we're playing a little bit of Plague Knight now. That dive effect on the grass means that the sweep cannot counter hit, of course. Dive now sealed. Calavontis looks at the Shadow Chorus, can't put that into Dreamlands. Looks like he's opting for a reshuffle here to finish the game off. 6 cards in hand, 2 cards in deck. We should probably find out what those 8 are or something along those lines. Actually, he doesn't particularly care. MiX does have cards to finish the game, so he's not dead yet, although this life deficit is looking pretty brutal. Like I said, you guys are going to have to play this match again in 0.5 speed to see exactly what is going on. Because these guys are playing speed exceed. Reading Sweep, which we know is in the hand. We'll get called out. Fatal Eye, we'll probably have some shenanigans here. That'll make the sweep not hit, of course. Yeah, and cross up will avoid. Cross up will go into gauge, so MiX has gauge now, so he can do his thing. Crosses Umnai draws a cross. I think that was actually a second copy from the previous reshuffle. Another Shadow Chorus drops. Reminder: this card cannot be placed into your Dreamlands. So the Dreamlands is currently empty. It's been empty for a while, just because I believe Calavontis has used 2 Shadow Choruses, has revealed 2 Shadow Choruses in a row. So the Dreamlands is currently empty for the Umna side. Calavontis just preps. MiX low on cards in hand, has a little bit of gauge to use his force for Hunter of Men. MiX opting for a reshuffle here, 2 in hand, 5 in deck, makes sense to me. I believe something like both eyes are gone. Unfortunately, 1 eye still left in the gauge. MiX says, no, I don't want to do that, I'll just prep instead. Finally, Calavontis gets a card that he can put into the Dreamlands. It is the Out of Mind, so on hit, he can add a card from Dreamlands to gauge. And actually, that one's kind of bad, but like, fine, whatever. Yeah, this one is not so good, just because it's only like a +1 power. Or maybe it is good, and I just can't comprehend why it's good in, like, the 10 seconds. Oh no, he's actually opting for it. And then says no, don't want it. Oh man, these guys are playing too... I apologize. These guys are... Next time what we have to do is we have to record this match, and then play back for ourselves in 0.5 speed, and then commentate it. So that way we actually get to see. MiX while swinging the block, 1 in 3 chance to do so, of course. Calavontis gets the dive in, back into range 1, into Zolt's face, where that hollow dive dodge is pretty applicable here. I'm assuming MiX is going to spend... MiX opts to spend... Decides, hey, I need all the cards in my hand and all the force here to finish the game. For the Seeing Red, of course. So Seeing Red, that's why. That's why. Look at this. Look at this beauty right here. Look at this beautiful boost. Zolt Gaming right there. That's why. So that's why I don't know why I forgot about Seeing Red. Look at second Seeing Red. So oh man. That is prime Zolt. That's the first time I've seen double Seeing Red boosted. 4 cards in hand, and a billion cards drawn for Zolt. Now it definitely has enough fuel to make the 17 HP drop to 0. So Zolt is a character that needs a lot of cards to function, because he spends a force to execute that additional attack. So in theory, for every additional attack he executes, he loses 1 for it. I guess it's in the name. That second force obviously comes, or the actual card spent comes back into the gauge, so it can be used as force later. But it is still relatively card expensive, even though you have something like Battlefield Transformed. MiX now taking his fourth action of the turn with heightened reflexes. Looks like it's going to be a strike. It's definitely a strike. It has to be a strike here. Billion cards. This could be MiX has enough resources to spend for power. Reminder: Mad Dog transformation allows you to spend for power. Block is surely gonna get blown up in some. Actually, block doesn't really need to get blown up in some capacity. He could, in theory, like dive into Spike or like move into Spike or something. Interesting. Opts for. Okay, so opts to run back, run across the screen with Wild Hunt, and then will gain the advantage with the Fanatical Purification, which pushes to engage advantage. How much damage is that? 5 damage total. I think Calavontis spent something. I don't know what he spent. I think he spent a Spike. I don't believe Mixture for advantage, actually. But yeah, now Zolt able to do Zolt things. Both blocks in the discard now, so gonna be pretty tough for Umina to mitigate advantage. Really, the question is, can Zolt win the game without giving Umina another turn? I believe that's the question that 100 Men must be asking himself right now. Has 9 cards in hand right now, so pretty sizable in terms of number of cards in hand. Has 3 gauge available as force for backside Zolt's ability. Like, looking through discard, maybe think of a reading coming up to lead his next play. Which tells me that it could be like a quote-unquote risky thing. Reminder that MiX doesn't have the +1 speed transformed yet. We'll take a look at press the attack here. So when Zolt initiates a strike, he can also spend force for +1 speed, which makes his already suite of safe attacks even safer in terms of hitting first. MiX does not have that transform, so something like Assault is only on curve instead of above curve. Sad. This game is slowed down to a crawl as MiX tries to calculate. I mean, it's similar to Bang.exe that Calavontis ran last turn. Now we're playing Umina.exe, and Assault is called against the Blaze of Fervor. So the Blaze of Fervor will deal 4 damage, and then I'm assuming stuff will be played. Blaze of Fervor crossover. Assault is already stunned, and advantage is already gained. So I wonder how many more cards are going to be spent here from Umina, from Zolt. Excuse me. It's just going to be positioning wherever MiX wants to put Calavontis, and indeed it is just positioning as the grass comes out, as the grass does not come out. Looks like MiX still deciding. MiX, of course, did not draw. You remember, reminder that you draw a card from Battlefield as soon as you draw. It looks like MiX deciding where to put Umina here. Opts to put her in the corner. Let's see if MiX spends another card for positioning here. Reminder that these cards only do 1 damage, but they're super. And no, MiX instead opting to starve Umina of cards. This makes sense to me. Pulls the Hollow Space. Not at range 1, but a pretty annoying card to deal with when Zolt goes to range 1. 3 gauge gained, 6 total power, 4 from the Fatal Blaze of Fervor, 2 from the additional attacks. Umina down to 11 HP, 6 cards in hand for Zolt with 4 engage. This is looking. I mean, Zolt got to do Zolt things, right? Double Seeing Red got boosted. We'll just take a look at this boost again, just in case you guys missed it. This boost is insane. That's actually the first time I've seen Double Seeing Red boosted before. Just the cherry on top for Zolt. Zolt's turn again. Just thinking about how this is pure lit. This is where a lot of the math calculation comes in. MiX running Zolt.exe, and hopefully he finds a winning line here against Umina, who did really well and built such a good lead, but unfortunately that Double Seeing Red was just enough for MiX to build. It looks like EX coming out with a +1 power on top of it. So EX means that a lot of cards are no longer... Right, they're no longer... What am I trying to say? The possibilities... Whatever this card is, you can eliminate a lot of the possibilities. Spike is not the answer, and in fact gets EX spiked in response. This is going to be a 7 power EX spike. Yeah, and Calavontis takes the 7 there. MiX probably going to be gaining advantage in some manner. Interestingly, he went for the EX spike, a little bit risky because it did lose to something like Assault, which Calavontis did spend from his hand already. It was red. So like a little undercurve, a little risky there for MiX, a little frisky, especially because he no longer, so both blocks are in the discard, so he doesn't really need the ignore armor, ignore guard to pop a block on his next turn, but yeah, I mean, he can no longer pop, he doesn't need to pop guard anymore, and he doesn't really need to worry about armor, I guess, either. Boost Whipcrack, moving to range 1 here. Now has the +1 speed, so now I'm assuming this is going to be like an I... Oh, no, he ended the turn. He ended the turn, no way to get advantage. Imagine ending your turn as Zolt. Wild. And now that... Oh, Unknown Kadath into the Dreamland, so now that can be... So now that can be sealed as like a free dodge. Ooh, this game's not over yet. This game's not over yet. That Unknown Kadath is a free get out of jail free card. Because of the ability on Backside Dreamland. So it's like a change cards 4 coming out from Calavontis, getting the full reload. Up to 8 cards in hand, so we'll have to discard 1 for the end of his turn. Discards the Assault. This game's not over yet, folks. This game is not over yet. MiX boosting +2 speed in response. Imagine taking a turn and only doing 14 damage with your turn. Ooh, can replace the focus and read, in theory. And in fact, he does replace the Ultra with focus. Reminder that the Ultra can be used as a combat card. So now that's an option with Calavontis having 3 gauge. I don't know if there's a reading play yet. Zolt has only 3 cards in hand and 8 in gauge. Reminder that reading can happen because of the boost on Shadow Course. So draw a card, then perform the instant boost effect of a card on your Dreamlands, ignoring the first cost. So that's where, although I believe one of these is dropped. Maybe the second, I think the second one got reshuffled in here, so it could be in here. Calavontis has 8 cards in hand. So if that second copy is in there, that's in there. But this is a little bit of a... That's a little bit of a home run play with 3 cards in hand and 8 in deck, I believe. So I don't think Calavontis is going for that exactly. It's a little bit of a home run play, in my opinion. But maybe he recognizes this as his last potential turn before Zolt actually gets to play the Zolt things. So maybe he does go for it. Maybe he's deciding whether this is the way he maximizes his win chances. And yes, here comes the reading. And the EX comes out. Calling Dive is successful. And there it is. Out of Mind. EX Out of Mind played. Just, wow. What a set. That Fatal Eye stuck in deck for MiX. That's pretty unfortunate there. Yeah, it's a rough one. Look at MiX just showing all the cards that gave him advantage that were stuck in his deck. And yeah, you know what? Yeah, just spin those around. Calavontis takes the set 2-0. That bang game was clinical. This Zolt game, a lot closer though. Yeah, and Calavontis remarking rough because he recognizes that in a lot of worlds he would have died there, with the amount of advantage that Zolt had stuck in the deck. And Calavontis saying he put the bang in banger. I agree. That bang play was... That bang play was beautiful. Anyways, we're going to call it here. Just a reminder, this is a little bit of an appetizer. Both these players were 4-0, and they will both safely be making playoffs. I believe playoffs are actually set. Don't know if exact seeding is set. I believe something like Calavontis will grab the 1 seed, Mix and God of Whim or CM Ishe will be 2 and 3 seed, and Migo Hunter will be the 4 seed. So if I'm not mistaken, that's what the playoff bracket will look like. So it'll be Calavontis versus Migo Hunter, Mix versus God of Whim. It's a single limb bracket, and yeah, so no second chances, best of 3. So a little bit variance heavy there. We've seen in the past how variance can affect best of 3s, which I personally don't really like. I wish there were best of 5 sets. I think variance is a big deal in best of 3s and can effectively like best of 3 is not enough for Exceed in my opinion, or maybe it is, and I'm just like not understanding the game enough. But ladies and gentlemen, we just saw some super high level Exceed gameplay. I really hope you enjoy it. Apologies because I couldn't really keep up with what was going with the action on the board. But like I said, you guys on the power of YouTube can look at this from point are using that 0.5 speed on YouTube to really see what was going on. Maybe you can catch a couple plays that I missed. Felt like I was doing a lot of play-by-play just because there were so many plays happening, not enough analysis on that. I will try to get better with that. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the match as much as I did. And yeah, I just feel like I'm talking so fast, talking like a word a second. I don't know if that's fast or slow or not, but yeah, we're just amped up after what a quick set between two guys who clearly know how to play the game better than the rest of us. Thank you guys so much for watching this one, and we will see you for the next one. Hope maybe the next one will be a playoffs match. We'll see. Exciting stuff here. Like I said, this was just the appetizer. The real main course is coming soon enough. All right, guys, take care.